Children participating in sports programs at the U.S. Naval Base in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, have been enjoying terrific experiences on the fields and courts, and Matthew Mayer is a big reason why. This passionate and caring dad exemplifies what youth sports parenting is all about. Along with being a positive source of support for his kids, he loves seeing all youth active, engaged, and having fun. And he's willing to do anything to help make that happen. A tireless advocate for the base's youth sports programs, this do-it-all dad has been instrumental in helping the programs flourish. No matter the sport or the time of year, he's always ready to lend a hand. He volunteers to officiate games for soccer, basketball, flag football, and baseball. He even stepped up to coach basketball when one of the teams didn't have a coach. Plus, he manages to find time to help recruit volunteers within his military unit to come out and assist with the youth sports programs. Mayer's passion for helping ensure that all kids have rewarding experiences in sports is truly inspiring, and his positive approach in everything he does is one to be embraced and emulated. Congratulations to Matthew Mayer, the 2023 NAYS Youth Sports Parent of the Year.
Welcome, Matt Mayer, our 2023 Parent of the Year. Why don't we start off by you telling us a little bit about your experience volunteering? How long have you been volunteering, and what's it been like for you?
So I've been volunteering for just a little over 20 years now. I started coaching a youth flag football team just shortly after high school, and just kind of fell in love with helping kids learn the games that they're playing. And the sports that they're trying. And I kept doing that. And then when I got a little older, I started umpiring baseball and officiating other sports. I did that mainly at the high school level until I had kids of my own. And then once I had my kids, I just kind of kept going with it and coached and officiated their sports, and just kind of been doing that ever since.
That's great. So what roles do you fulfill? I mean, as a volunteer parent, what's it typically like, your experience, whether it's practice or games?
Yeah, so mainly, I mean, I like to think of it as like three main roles. I can coach, I can official, or I can just cheer. So if I'm not doing coaching or officiating, I'm there watching and cheering my kids on and cheering the other kids on, and just watching them kind of develop. But most times it's either officiating or coaching, with a lot more officiating lately. So
what inspired you? I know you briefly talked about that when we talked about volunteering. But what really inspires you to get out there?
Well, growing up, I had a lot of great coaches that taught me the games and the sports, and just really were amazing teachers, not just at the sport, but at life lessons too. And I, many of those I remember to this day, and, can vividly remember playing underneath them. So when I think back of that and think of coaching today, it's, just wanting to have youth be able to say, yeah, I had some great coaches as well. And if I'm not out there, then I don't know who they're going to get to coach. So, a lot of times we like to say, if you want to make a difference, step up and try to make the difference. So, between that and just loving, playing sports, growing up, I really enjoyed playing sports, and I think this is just a great way to give back to those sports that I love to play. And just make sure that kids of this generation can continue to enjoy the game that I love to play. So
that's great. You talked about, some of the lessons that are inherent in playing sports. What are some of the ones that you feel like, whether it's your own kids or the kids on the teams that you're involved with, what are some of those life lessons that you see get instilled in those kids?
Well, I think, first and foremost is never giving up. It's always trying your hardest. You get to, that's the great thing about coaching at the levels that I like to coach at, is you get kids with multiple different skill levels. And that's just great, because you can teach not only the kid who's not quite getting it, but really loves to be out there, to just keep trying their hardest and never giving up. And the value of putting in that work and, seeing them succeed through that. Then also, I think respect. I think, you have to teach them respect for not only their teammates and their coaches, but for, the officials and the game in general. Just, when they go out there and they're playing, that if they're being disrespectful, they're not just disrespecting the person or team that they're disrespecting the game that they're playing. And I think showing them that not only can you respect people, but you can respect the activity that you're doing. And then I think third is kind of just how to handle defeat. Oftentimes, when it doesn't go the kid's way and they strike out or they fumble the ball or whatever, they lose the game. There's lessons in that, and just being able to teach those lessons and say, hey, you may not have came out on top on that, but here's some of the things that we did well, and just kind of showing them that they can still learn even though they may not have had the outcome they wanted.
So you probably have run across other parents in your experiences that are reluctant to sign up. What would you do to encourage a parent who's interested? That doesn't know where to start? What would you say to that parent?
I would say start with your kid's coach. If you've got a kid in sports currently, or they're getting ready to sign up for a season or a league, and they're assigned a coach, reach out to that coach and just say, hey, coach, do you need help? Do you need help running practices, running drills? Even if you don't necessarily know much about that game or that sport, just reach out and say, hey, if you're willing to show me, I'm willing to help teach. And a lot of times that especially if you get a younger age group, a lot of it is just having extra hands out there to be able to help out and keep the kids where they need to be and keep them moving and keep them active. Because if you only have one coach out there and there's 10 kids and they're all 5 to 7 years old, it's going to be hard to keep them all gainfully employed at one time. So you want to have extra hands out there, so everyone's doing something at some time. So just reach out, ask your coaches, your kids' coaches, if they need a hand, and that might spark you to want to do more. I mean, I know a lot of people are limited with time. That's a big thing, and they don't necessarily know if they can commit that amount of time and energy into it. But just start small. Start by helping out your coach, your kid's coach, and then just ask them how they got involved. Who should they contact if they want to, get more involved, or they have a little extra time they can give. The coaches will always know who to point you to in the right direction, who's running the programs, and go from there. So you can start small and work your way up, and there's always something to do. So just reach out and ask.
We have the opportunity to talk to recreation leaders that are sitting in this audience and say to them, here's what you should do to recruit more parents like me. What would you tell them?
So I would say it all starts with a personal invitation. I know in programs past, I've had directors that, they just send the generic email out to all the parents. Hey, we need help. If anyone's interested, that does a little bit of good, but, get to know the parents in your programs and reach out to them personally, stop them after practice or give them a call on the weekend and, just say, hey, is this something you'd be interested in? I know, the program that I'm helping now in Guantanamo Bay, that's mainly how I got started. Our program director, Brittany, she pulled me aside one day after practice, said, hey, do you ever do any officiating? I was like, well, actually, yeah, I'm a registered game official. She goes, yeah, you want to help us out? I was like, yeah, absolutely. So it's just those personal invites that, because a lot of times people read those emails that go to everybody and they think, well, this isn't for me. This is, meant for another parent. I've got nothing for this one. But if you're asked personally, by the director, another coach, say, hey, do you mind helping me out? That goes a long way. A lot of people will see that and say, hey, actually they need my help, not just help in general. They need my actual help. So yeah, just get those personal invitations, reach out to people. Like I said, pull them aside, give them a phone call. It goes a long way.